that snake? It's not moving. Maybe it's not even alive.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order a regular scheduled meeting, Elk Grove Park District, September 26, 2024. May I have a roll call, please?
President Walsh?
Here.
Commissioner Bianchi is absent.
No way.
Commissioner Carlson?
Here. Again?
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes, welcome back, Francis.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes, September 12th, 2024, Golf Committee meeting, September 12th, 2024, Efficiency Committee meeting, and September 12th, 2024, regular meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No one is opposed. Okay, recognition of special guests. Ignite Dance Company and coaches. Who wants to start? Can you bring that mic back?
Of course, yes, I will.
Just so they can get you on camera.
Okay. Say hi to my mom and dad. Or those watching at home.
Just turn it this way because they're gonna try to get anybody that comes up on that camera there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh.
picks you up.
Well, welcome. We are the Ignite Pavilion Dance Company. We're currently a team of 26 dancers that just began their 7th season. The team is composed of dancers that train up to 4 days a week, year-round, to prepare themselves for 4 to 5 regional competitions, a national competition, 2 yearly recitals, as well as many other community-based performances in Elk Grove. The team is proud to represent Elk Grove Village and the Elk Grove Park District at a regional and national level. So this past July, Ignite dancers competed at Groove Nationals in Galveston, Texas. Our team spent multiple days competing in group dances, solos, duets, and trios. Both teams had multiple dances, group, solo, duets, and trios, placed 1st through 3rd in overalls. My mom just texted me saying I'm watching you. Our teams received multiple judges' awards, such as a breath of fresh air and mesmerizing movement, along with special choreography awards. And I also want to call out that our very own Miss Josie Starr received Groove's Dance Educator of the Year. So well deserved for Miss Josie. Our senior team had the prestigious honor of making it to the finals. So dances are up against all other teams regardless of competitive division in order to make it to the finals. So these dancers were able to beat out teams that competed at a higher level than them to make it to the finals. However, Hurricane Beryl had other plans. Yet most of us got to experience our first hurricane this summer. So as we were unable to compete at finals in Texas, group held a virtual finals where a new set of judges judged the qualifying dances, and our team took 5th overall against all the other teams. So I would like to take a moment and recognize our dancers and parents for their adaptability and resilience as plans continue to change in the wake of a natural disaster. So our dancers made quick adjustments and were ready to compete at a moment's notice to accommodate the changing competition schedule. Families worked together to help each other out during the storm and subsequent power outage at our hotel. Everyone made the best of the situation and helped keep spirits high, even though part of the competition had to be canceled. So Ignite Dance Company made it not just through another wonderful award-winning Nationals week, but a hurricane together. Just goes to show you how strong our team is and that we can get through anything, and we're ready to take on a whole new season, hopefully with less natural disasters.
Very good.
Congratulations. Well, we gotta have everybody come up and introduce themselves. We can't,
Maybe just, there's like 20 of us, maybe just their name.
yeah,
Sure.
it's
Just
your
your
time.
your name. Okay.
They can say something about them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
we got time.
we got time.
Okay.
My name is Emily Domke. I'm a senior at Conan High School, and this is my 7th year on this team.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Isabel Farragle, and I'm a junior at Conan High School, and this is also my 7th year on the team. Hi, my name is Brooke. I'm a junior at Conan High School, and this will be my 3rd season with this team.
Hi, I'm Kendall. I'm a junior at Lake Park High School, and this is going to be my 7th year on the team.
Hello, I'm Isabella Murray Polu. I'm a senior at Elk Grove High School, and this is going to be my 7th year on the team.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a sophomore at Conan High School, and this will be my 6th year with the team.
I'm Jaden. I'm a freshman at St. Viator High School, and this is my 6th season.
I'm Mira. I'm a sophomore at Conan High School, and this is my 3rd season.
I'm Sharanya. I'm a sophomore at Kona High School, and this is my 5th season.
I'm Victoria. I'm a sophomore at Conan High School, and this is my 7th year on the team.
My name's Riley. I'm a freshman at Elk Grove High School, and this is my 6th season.
Hi, my name is Itzy Vasquez, and I'm a freshman at Elk Grove High School, and this is my 4th season.
Hi, I'm Piper, and this is my 4th season. I'm Juliana, and this is my 4th year on Ignite.
Try and speak up a little louder so that.
Hi, I'm Lauren Kim, and this is my 2nd year, and I'm an 8th grader at junior high school.
Whoever the last one is, make sure you bring up the trophy. Let the camera get a hold of that trophy.
Hi, my name is Summer, and this is my 2nd season on Ignite.
Hi, my name is Joya, and this is my 2nd season on Ignite.
Hi, I'm Maria, and this is my 3rd season. Hi, I'm Hannah, and this is my 2nd season.
Hi, I'm Claire, and this is my 3rd season on Ignite.
Yeah, hold it up.
Okay.
Well, thank you all, and congratulations. State stuff is pretty hard to do. When you're starting to talk about nationals, that's just ridiculously awesome.
Thank you.
So-
The dancers work very hard. We're happy to represent the Elk Park District.
And I bet you the parents work really hard too.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do.
Overtime, Saturdays, just to pay for all that, right?
That's actually going to be one of my questions, John. Hopefully the whole group can answer it. The questions I had is, first of all, as a group, think about it for a second. Who's the goofiest dancer?
I haven't just found that out.
Nothing wrong with that. Who's the most serious dancer? Any shout out to any mom or dad who did tons of carpooling? I mean, first of all, you all should be thanking mom and dad. But anybody? And then Jackie, if you can take the microphone, I ask you certain questions every year, but what age group are you looking for to develop that maybe bad habits haven't started yet? Are you pulling them from our own dance program? I know we have Lake Park, but anybody can join our dance program from any town, but what are you kind of looking for as you're trying to get the skill set up to competition level?
Sure, I mean, we look for dancers of all ages. We have multiple dance companies, and they start as young as 6 years old. So if your dancer's interested in a greater commitment, we offer a mini company. And you know, those dancers that are in our mini company and junior company, usually that's the first step before getting into Ignite. Some dancers, you know, come to us from other programs or other areas, and they can audition and make it into Ignite. But usually we have our dancers start in mini company, maybe the junior companies. A lot of them started that way, and then they develop the skills through those, you know, performance companies to be in the competitive company. So to answer your question, I guess anywhere from 6 to 12, but that doesn't mean that someone who's older can't, you know, join the team and develop those skills.
And for those that are watching that I look for consistency and continuity in a program, can you remind everybody how many years you've spent in this program?
I have been dancing in Dance Studio 1 for 32 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Before you were born? I don't know. How's that possible?
I wish.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again and congratulations and good luck again next year because it sounds like you're all going to try to return, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, the microphone's on as you're walking past it, girls. Shout outs, go.
Shout out to the seniors, Emily and Izzy last year. Let's make it a good one.
Shout out to
Yep.
Camille, John, and Michelle.
Oh, God.
We have a lot of new Ignite dancer in 2 years. Yes, when she gets older. She's already walking, so we're already planning her first song. My baby, she's walking already, so we're ready for her.
Very good.
That's perfect.
We'll give it just one more minute here for them to head out. So we are at public communication. I see Alan. Alan, nothing today, Alan. Very well. Anybody else that would like to make any comments? Mr. Lavin, can you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
Can you just turn that mic back to where we, yeah, thank you very much.
Good evening, Bill Lavin, Elko Village resident. Respectfully, I request that you follow the guidance of the Planning Commission. I know the village overruled them, but reconsider the pickleball and the lights and follow the recommendation that the Planning Commission made. As a side note, I'm back in the parks again. I attended soccer practices and both Lions and Calf Fields, excellent condition. The fields, the parks, excellent conditions. We play at behind Rupley, I believe that's Andrews Park, excellent condition. As far as my observation, I spend most of the time watching the kids, but I noticed plenty of room at these practices, at least the practices that I attended. At Lions, you've got a soccer field, and it was about 3/4 the way they were setting up for practice. I also want to give a shout out to the parent coaches. They do an excellent job, and especially the instructor coaches. They're young men that come out. I believe there might be some young women involved, and work with the kids. Over at the CAF, there's 2 soccer fields, large soccer fields, and only 3/4 of one again was being used when we attended over there. My observation at Andrews Park, soccer field, baseball field, playgrounds, basketball court, plenty of parking, plenty of parking. I guess where I'm going with it again is I don't understand, especially after you backed off on the lights at Mead, where we're going at Marshall Park. And again, respectfully, please follow the Planning Commission's recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Step up, man. You don't have to give your name and address anymore. Oh, just your name. You just have to do
My
address.
name is Marge, and I would like a full accounting of expenses spent on the pickleball from the beginning to what you perceive as the completion. So all the expenses and for what?
Okay.
Okay.
So can you do me a favor? Before you leave, can you talk to Frances and give her what way you want us to communicate that, whether it be an email or your address? And we can put together that and we will send that to you directly.
Is that something that can go in the paper so everybody can see? Because other people are interested too.
Sure, it's been in the
Yeah, it
paper
has
already
been
a
in the
couple
paper.
times.
But if you want, from your question, you just wanted like from start to finish, you wanted the expenses for that project. We can definitely get that to you.
Or itemized expenses, yes.
Is to the best of our ability. You can,
Yeah.
they only item as much, but we can definitely get that to you. But just let her know which way, how you want that to be conveyed to you. Whether it's an email address on a PDF, or if it's just you want us to throw it in the mail, we can do that. It's gonna take some time to put together, but we can certainly do it.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We're correspondence. Anybody have correspondence? Okay, I do. So if anybody's been watching these meetings, there was a meeting back in March, where this board had 2 items on an agenda, and they differed with 1 word. We were thinking of doing some public communications and giving it a time limit, which we have since backed off of, but it was the difference between 3 minutes and 5 minutes. And our resident, Tim Burns, was here, and he had thought that that was a violation of the Illinois State Open Meeting Act, the OMA Act. So since he did put in a request to the Illinois Attorney General to, for lack of a better term, investigate what had happened. And our attorney here, Tom Hoffman, who I have full trust in, he spent hours and hours and a lot of research, and he's our defender, you know, for the Attorney General. This went on quite some time, and he put in our side of the case to the Attorney General, and then it took months, right, Tom, to get our answer back. And I think it's fair to let the public know, because if they heard what Tim said and left it at that, there was no finish, there was no ending to the story. So we did get a letter from the estate's attorney. It was directed electronically to both myself and Mr. Burns. And I won't go into it because, no offense, Tom, it's like attorney speak 101 for the first like 4 or 5 pages. So, but I will say in the last sentence, let me do it. Yeah, here somewhere. Essentially, what did I do? Yeah, thank you. So essentially, this is the answer from Supervising Attorney of Public Access Bureau. Her name is Teresa Lynn, an attorney for the Illinois State's Attorney. The Public Access Counselor, her, has decided that determined that this resolution of this matter does not require the issuance of a binding opinion. Meaning they have found nothing. They would never say yes or no. They would just say, nope, we're good, we're done. This letter shall serve to close this matter. If you have any questions, please contact me at the Chicago address listed on the first page of this letter. So, having said that, we're without, I hate to say we're volunteers because we do kind of know what we're doing. A lot of us have been on the board, whatever, but we really are volunteers. And it's so important to have an attorney like Attorney Hoffman, who's been in this industry for so long. He covers not only this board, he covers our village. And he does a wonderful job. This one took a little while, Tom, but the way I see it is a victory is a victory, right?
Thank you.
And I do truly appreciate the efforts you put in. Because I promise you, folks, this didn't take him 45 minutes to come up with. This was a long, arduous process. And he did a wonderful job for us, and I want to thank you again, Tom. So
Thank you very much.
you're more than welcome.
Yeah, John's, this third to last sentence actually puts it in conclusion. Accordingly, the Attorney General's office concludes that the board's final action on Resolution 24-02 did not violate the Open Meetings Act.
Right.
In writing.
Very good. Any other correspondence? Hearing, seeing none. Recommendations of acceptance and approval. Approval of payment application number 1 from Absolute Home Improvements, Inc. in Highland Park, Illinois for the Rainbow Falls Water Parks resurfacing project in the amount of $63,000. Excuse me, I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Wells?
Yes. All right. Commissioner O'Malley has told me that I skipped over comments by commissioners, so we'll just jump back, Francis, if that's okay. So comments from commissioners. Any commissioners have any comments? Correspondence?
I just want to thank Attorney Hoffman for the work he did on that.
Thank you. I just want to address the one comments, what the total cost is gonna be. I believe we're probably somewhere, Mark, in the 550,000 range.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the exact number is to date, because the project isn't even started yet. So there's mostly it's A&E through Upland Design. But yeah, I mean, we can put together cost opinions, but because the project hasn't even been started, we don't know what those figures are gonna be exactly.
Well, I like that answer, but I don't, because it makes it seem like, oh, we're just doing this when we don't know what the numbers are.
we have a
do know
budget.
what the numbers are, agreed. So that's what I want to convey is that, no, we don't know. I'm not saying we know that. I believe we're in the $550,000 range. That would be my guess. Does anybody else think differently?
I would agree.
Okay, that's what we're planning on spending to build a 6-court from scratch pickleball at Marsh.
With lights.
That's all I have.
With
What's
lights.
that?
With lights.
With glass, correct.
With lights.
With lights.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Approval pay request from the Upland Design Limited of Plainfield, Illinois for professional services for the Marshall Park redevelopment project in the amount of $6,738.06.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Wells?
Yes. Approval pay request from WT Group of Hoffman Estates, Illinois for the ADA transition project in the amount of $28,412.50.
So moved.
Second.
Can you explain where this one's at and what's
So
involved?
Throughout the summer, WT Group has been going through our parks and facilities to assess our parks and facilities, taking measurements and notes, and I think they're probably about 80% complete. They want to get to the point where they can spend the inclement winter in the office putting together the full report.
Okay.
So this allows us to evaluate existing conditions for ADA compliance, which is very, very important.
Extremely important. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President Wells?
Yes. Approval of payment application number 4 for Train USA of Willowbrook, Illinois for the PAC or Pavilion Aquatic Center Pool Heat Exchange Replacement Project in the amount of $3,327.52.
So moved.
Second.
Pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yes.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Wells?
Yes. Approval of payment application number 3 from Train USA, Inc. of Willowbrook, Illinois for the Pavilion Air Handle Replacement Project in the amount of $35,886.15.
So moved.
Second.
This one, this is kind of the season where we get a lot of done over at PAC, right? When you close the pool and,
Yeah, so the first one that you did before, that was the heat exchanger that was done in August with the pool shutdown.
right,
This one in particular is the Garden Terrace air handler.
handler.
So that project saw the air handler that was actually in the building get moved to a rooftop unit up on top, and
Okay.
they're very close to completion.
Very good. I have a motion and a
That's the
second.
original air handler.
Yeah, 30.
To the building, yeah.
Well, I do have a motion and a second, right, Francis? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of payment application number 4 from Train USA Inc. of Willowbrook, Illinois for the Pavilion Building Management System project in the amount of $11,327.62.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of pay request for the Allied Painting Inc. of Batavia, Illinois for the Pavilion Exterior Painting Project in the amount of $38,560.
Again, so moved.
Second? Mark, they're done?
They're done. There's some touch-up paint that needs to get done. He's gonna come out tomorrow, but yes, they are done.
Just in the nick of time, right? The weather?
Yeah.
It's getting chilly. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of change order number 1 for Absolute Home Improvements, Inc. of Highland Park, Illinois for Rainbow Falls Water Park resurfacing project in the amount of $17,500.
I actually recommend that the president find the change order for a total of $17,500 is in the best interest of the Park District and otherwise authorized by law, and that the president be directed to make such a determination in writing, and further authorize that upon being provided with said written determination from the president, the executive director be and hereby is authorized and directed to execute and deliver each such change order.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, 2 things. 1, what was the change for?
So the portion of the work that's been completed as of now was the sandblasting of the surfacing. During that process, many cracks have kind of appeared. Painting was hiding them or just, so they saw about 720 linear feet of cracks that need to get filled and caulked. So this is that. This is the additional work that they need to do to fix that.
And then can you explain why Bill had to read that, Tom? Is that something that just a change order needs done?
It is governed by a criminal statute in the code that basically says any change order in excess of $10,000 needs that kind of a motion.
Okay. All right. That one threw me off a little bit. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, right? Francis, can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Approval of 3-year agreement for audit services of Lauterbach and Amen LLP of Naperville, Illinois in the amount of $22,500, $23,400, and $24,300 for the years ending in December 24, December 31st of 25, and December 31st of 2026. Can I get a roll call, please? Or excuse me, a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second. Okay, so there'll probably be some discussion on this. So, Brad, you want to just explain the short version of what we're doing here for the public?
Our engagement agreement with Lauterbach and Amen ended this year, a 3-year agreement. So per our conversation last year, we went out for RFP. I provided you guys with results of the RFP. We got 3 proposals from 3 different firms. And that's where we're at.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second.
You don't have a second.
Oh, I seconded.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Well, we have some discussion on it?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
That's what I was waiting for.
Okay, I'm sorry. Every year that this comes up, we used in the last, I think, 12 years. And we've talked about possibly switching up, not that they did anything wrong or they're not a good company or anything, and I think it'd be fine for us, but switching up to a different accounting firms to get a different set of eyes on the book, so to speak. I realize that within their organization, they change out different auditors that come in, so it's not necessarily the same one, but it is the same company with the same philosophy. And so I think it's been 12 years. I think it's been time to at least I'm ready to switch and go with somebody else just for sake of having different eyes on the ball. Some of the other firms that are bid on the project, the second highest bidder, I know does a lot of the districts that are similar to ours. I don't have right in front of me, like Arlington Heights, and both of these, as far as I'm able to determine, talking to Brad and Ben, are reputable firms. I realize you're basically talking over 3 years, 10 grand difference, but to me, that's well invested to have different eyes on it. I feel more comfortable having a different firm and have to set eyes on it, so that's my thought on it. So I'm gonna be voting no on it myself.
I'll also be voting no on it, and this doesn't have to be a 3-year contract. I just need a fresh set of eyes just for 1 year, and the difference in the 1 year could be as low as $2,000. And under the same belief that Tom has, you know what? Not saying Lauterbach and Almond did anything wrong. I'm not saying our staff's doing anything wrong, but that's what an independent audit is. I'd love to change firms because, you know what? In the history of not so much park districts, but state governments and the Enrons of the world and the Dixon, Illinois, you know what? Sometimes stuff happens, and there ends up being a cozy arrangement between the auditor and the firm that they're auditing. So sometimes I've actually heard Brad in his own words say that, hey, they're comfortable with Lauterbach and Amon and they have a good working relationship. That's not my concern. I could care less if our auditor does not like staff and staff doesn't like the auditor. What I want is eyes, ears, turning the pages, and if that means that for 1 year, a whole different set of philosophy, interpretation of Gatsby's laws and what should be accounted where, and this should be a debit in this column, and you're over-analyzing the budget in this. I personally would also think that 1 year would not harm anything, and yet there's the potential to find a lot of good if something was wrong. So if we come back and switched for 1 year, and they said everything's great, it follows the consistency that you've had for 10 or 12 years, great, it's a 1 year contract. Go back to whoever might be the cheapest, not that the cheapest is always the greatest, but that's my belief on why we should be changing auditors also for at least 1 year.
Scotty?
Well, I see it a little different because they have different people doing it and different people in the firm. So I don't know you'll be able to get them to do for 1 year. Brad?
Both of them noted in their proposals that usually, yes, they're gonna want a longer term commitment. Not that they're opposed to a 1 year deal. I didn't ask for a proposal on a 1 year deal, but like I said, they mentioned it in there. There are costs in the first year of an audit. The longer you do, you know, setting up all the different files and the transition from the old audit firm to the new audit firm, there's a time commitment. So they like to spread that commitment over longer years, or they'll eat the cost if they're getting a longer commitment. A 1 year proposal could change their dollar amount, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it will, but it could.
And Brad, I had a question too. Did you have a chance at all to talk to any other districts that use these other two firms? I know we had the experience with Autobahn, so we don't need, you know, to know anything about it, but as far as kind of researching and deciding, and I know these were the cheapest, so typically we go with the lowest bidder, but did you have a chance, or were you able to talk
I did
to
not
them?
do any due diligence into
On that,
Signature, Sheldon Fox. I know, like you said, they obviously submitted their references, and I know many of the directors, finance directors at those park districts. I haven't heard anything bad, and I'm familiar with the companies. I mean, depending on what the direction is here, I can go back and do more due diligence on them. But I don't have any concerns off the top. I'd like to have a conversation with them before we engage in anything.
Has any auditing firm in the last 12 years approached you at any kind of conferences, cold calling? I'm assuming people want our business, so has anybody in the last 12 years besides Lauterbach even said, hey, Mike, how about not using us?
Well, they all do. They all ask when you're going for RFP. That's where I get a lot of the people that I sent it to conferences, going through the exhibit hall. You know, you pick up business cards, etc., going to different association events, etc. So
Because my gut feel is that you will find somebody relatively close to Lauterbach's dollar amount for 1 year. Well, no one till.
Well, especially if they want to get their foot in the door.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking too.
Well, my stance is this, I don't discount anything you or Tom have said. But I'll vote yes, because to me, it's a considerable savings. It's not just a couple $100s to the taxpayer. And I will say that we have nothing that shows us that Lauterbach and Amen isn't who they have advertised to us, and they've done a great job, and we get certificates every year from the state. But realistically, I don't mind what you're saying, I somewhat agree, but that number would have to be closer than over $10,000, so that's why I'd be voting yes, so.
Well, continue the conversation. I'll get that number closer under 10,000 then. You're looking at 3 years, we're looking at 1 year. So you want to go underneath $10,000? We're talking a difference of $2,000 to $3,000. We could do that type of math like, hey, let's enter a 6-year agreement. Well, it's $20,000 difference. Hey, it's a 9-year agreement.
Well, that's
We're
what
looking for 1 year
the
agreements.
contract reads that I read.
I understand that. And we're saying that, do you think a 1-year contract will be different than $10,000 or even $5,000?
I can't speak for that.
Sure you can.
Well,
You don't
we
want
can't.
to.
Bill,
Bill,
okay,
Bill, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you ask him a question and he says, I don't know that, he doesn't know it.
Okay, that's
He's
your-
not in that business. What he did was he went out for an RFP and only 3 companies came back due to some circumstance. That's how he finds his information.
Okay, that's your opinion. If I'm the director of finance, I think I would know the answer. He said no, I said I doubted it. That's my
well,
opinion.
at this point, it sounds like it's going to be 2-2 or 3-0.
Agreed.
So maybe either table it or let's do the vote.
Well, I would say let's get to the vote.
Okay.
And if it's,
voted down,
if it's
then-
table, or if it's 2-2, we'll table it. This is where it would be nice to have our 5th commissioner.
Correct.
And we'll just go from there, so. All right, so Francis, can I get a roll call on this one?
Commissioner O'Malley,
No.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
No,
President Walls.
Yes. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll table this, and I think that gives Brad enough time to put together, you kind of got the feel for what we're looking for, right? So 1 year,
And see if they'll.
try to see if we can get a couple more people involved, and then we'll just run it back. Is 2 weeks too little
The
time?
only thing that I have concern on a 1-year deal is, like I said, in both of their proposals, they point out that there
That's
is a
fine.
cost. of
But you
setting it
just
up.
give us
So
the
I can go
information and
back
we'll make the
approach
decision.
them. I don't know if they're gonna say yes or no.
That's fine.
We'll
Just-
honor that price for year 1.
All I'm saying is, you kind of know where we're headed, just go
I
off
will Come back with
RFP.
more options.
You could probably RFP for 1 year and 3 year, and see who comes back. If nobody comes back for 1 year, then that's what she'll come to us with, so.
okay. Can I ask a question? I think
Yeah.
Maybe Tom can answer this. Okay, so this is voted down now. If it can, and I think if we decide that we're not gonna go with Lauterbach and Amen, does it have to be, we could go with these bids, or could we negotiate it all with the second highest bidder? Or is that, or does the whole thing have to be rebid?
It's not a bid process, so these are proposals.
Proposals, okay, so we could go back to them and say, hey, we're looking, if you sweeten your numbers here, you couldn't attempt to negotiate that 3-year deal as well,
You could,
Yes.
correct?
you could.
Okay, so my thought would be that that's what I would do, suggest, looking at a 3-year and then a 1 year, and then we come back with,
Sounds good to me.
yeah, and then we can still keep, because I don't know what Bob is gonna, how he's gonna vote, and, but at least we'll have more information to make a decision on these 3 companies.
So Brad, do you think 2 weeks, our next meeting is in 2 weeks, right?
No, it's at the end of
I'll be
October.
prepared.
Okay, so that's gonna be plenty of time, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right, all good. Where the heck was I? Thank you. So approval estimate, need a motion and a second approval of an estimated cost of travel, meals, and lodging for 2024 NRPA Annual Conference from October 8th, 2024 through October 10th, 2024 for Commissioner Cook and Commissioner O'Malley, Commissioner Cook, at $2,058.31, and Commissioner O'Malley at $2,058.31. I need a motion and a second. Excuse me.
So moved.
And this is where somebody's gonna second.
Oh, I'll second it.
It's frustrating because, you know, I would like to abstain on voting for something for that, you know, what can be seen as a benefit to me, but we don't have people here, so now we have to vote yes. I don't like that.
Well, I don't look at it as a benefit to you or me. We're going to have a park
benefit to the
district
park
and the
district.
community, you know, to represent.
I said it's a perceived benefit.
Well, I know, but
yes.
that's what we need to explain, you know, so.
Which I do every year.
The 2,000 is for airfare, hotel, and registration fees and whatever the per diem meal thing is, so.
Do you know what state is this one in this year?
It's going to Atlanta, so I'm glad we're not down there this week, because that hurricane's going right through them. Hopefully, there's not a lot of damage done, but, yeah, so it's not necessarily for our benefit. You're taking off of work and not giving up 4 days vacation time to be there as well. So I look at it as part of our commitment, and I know I appreciate that you go and give your time. I'm retired, so it's no out-of-pocket taking time off, but you do, you know, that is a loss to you as far as vacation time, so.
I would just prefer abstain, that's all.
Yeah.
So just, this comes
Well, one
up,
of you can abstain.
Well, I get that, but
this comes up every year, so we have state conference, which a lot of our staff goes to, and it's usually down at the Hyatt downtown. And then every year, the National Park District Association runs one, and it kind of traveling roadshow, right, at Dallas, here and there, whatever. So essentially, it allows commissioners, does any staff go to this one?
Yep.
Okay. It allows you to connect, there's classes, there's seminars, and both commissioners, you know, will go to classes and seminars. And then there's an exhibit hall, which is always important because you see new and fresh ideas, new equipment, whatever. So
fill out a report.
yeah, and you have to fill out a report of what classes. I don't know if anybody ever reads the report, but
You see me give mine on air
Yeah.
where I pour people out.
perfect.
Well, then
So
they-
just an explanation of what happens at this. And I'm with you, Tom. I do believe that for this price, I believe you two can come back with more value than what was spent to get you for a couple of days.
The nice thing about the national conference is that you see what's happening all across the country to get the latest ideas and you know, what's happening out in California, Montana, the different states. And you bring back a lot, hopefully, good ideas for things for our community. So, as well as time to talk to our legislators that are out there at that, as well as our contractors and stuff, so.
Okay, so can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes. You can abstain,
Commissioner
Bill.
O'Malley,
Abstain.
President Wells.
Yes. Okay, okay, acceptance of base bid with deductions accepting alternate 1 and alternate 2-2 from Evans and Son Blacktop of West Chicago, Illinois for the Marshall Pickleball Project in the amount of $446,300.17. Need a motion and a second?
So moved?
Second.
Any comments, although I think this has been,
Well, I'll just make a
Yeah,
little bit of
'cause Tom
comments,
wasn't here.
because
Sure.
Ben, Mark, and myself went out to Sycamore to check out the glass pickleball courts that were being put up there. And they do look very nice. They meet some of the concerns the police had about being able to see through to the rest of the park, visibility-wise. We did check out the noise deadening. When Mark was on the other side of the glass, he had to shout for me to hear him over the top. So I think it's gonna do a better job at noise deadening any sounds that in the pickleball courts. Yeah, they look really nice. So I think it'll bring a first-class operation to those pickleball courts. And the cost is the same, comparable to what it is for the fence and the barrier, noise barrier, if we went with the fence structure. So,
Bill?
Yeah, here's where I'll share a correspondence. It's not favorable to me. So just after I voted no for pickleball, I had to talk to some people. I got some phone calls after that. But while the meeting was still going on, this is a friend of mine, by the way. You probably pissed off a lot of people tonight voting no for pickleball. The fitness center spent so much money the last few years. From an ordinary viewer, it appears you caved. That's from a friend. I'm thick-skinned, so it's pretty cool. But I will explain why I voted no, both to staff and to the audience. again, I guide a lot of my own personal decisions on what I think a certain amenity or ask it's gonna cost. And when bid comes in a little bit higher, I get frustrated, and I think sometimes I can do better because I have a lot of connections in the construction field because of the industry I'm in. So I voted no, knowing that it would be enough to stall the project, because we only had 3 commissioners. So I used that to my advantage, knowing that I could then have a couple of weeks to make my own phone calls. So I called up presidents of Martin Construction, and I called Leopardo Construction, and I called A-Lamp, who didn't even bid. And unfortunately, most of these bigger companies do not want to do a $400,000 project, or they don't have the skill set. And I challenged them by saying, you tell me you can't grade 100 foot by 100 foot. And he just says, well, we then have to warranty it, and we have to do this, and we have to get permits, and my number's gonna be the same as what's coming in right now. And a couple of them said, we're so busy right now, we might have to come in on a Saturday and a Sunday, so our bid's gonna be higher. So the bottom line is, I couldn't even get my own people to even want to bid on this, and that's what I was trying to do. I have been in favor of Marshall Park. I voted for it. I think it's gonna be a nice amenity, but I have to do what I think I have to do on particular weeks, our particular votes, and I thought all the bids came in too high. So that's why I was a no. So, you can still think I'm an idiot, but it doesn't matter.
I don't know that anybody called you an idiot.
That was the tone, but that's okay.
Fair enough. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Walz?
Yes. Okay, committee reports. We're getting there. Capital projects, Commissioner Cook.
I have nothing to report other than our visit that I already just reported on, so no report.
Fair enough. Finance Committee, Commissioner Carlson.
Okay. The corporate fund, $1,190,802 in property tax collected in August. $31,661 in personal property tax, if I'm saying that right, Brad?
Yep.
Okay. Collected in August. All expense categories are under budget. Year-to-date of $4,063,838 compared to a budget of $3,347,707. Recreation fund, $539,652 in property tax collected in August. Fees and admission, $2,241,544 compared to a budget of $2,121,075. Program fees were $1,846,827 compared to a budget of $1,927,394. All expense categories under budget except contractual and program contractual. Year-to-date of $1,885,885 compared to a budget of $828,277. As a note, capital projects that have been budgeted in rec fund are affecting overall year-to-date numbers with $373,500 budgeted year-to-date, but only $55,948 spent year-to-date, contributing a variance of $317,552 in actual versus budget. Brad, you want to explain a little bit there?
Yeah, that's just the capital projects, like the fitness center.
the numbers
That
are
got
right, yeah.
delayed a little bit, so it hasn't hit the books yet, so.
Right. Golf fund, 6,698 rounds played in August, 32,890 rounds year-to-date compared to 30,807 last year. Fees and admissions, $1,236,325 compared to $980,515. All expense categories are at or near budget. Driving range year-to-date of $147,542 compared to a budget of $83,379. Year-to-date of $475,688 compared to a budget of negative $92,414. Again, capital projects that have been budgeted in golf fund are affecting overall year-to-date numbers with 465,432 budgeted year-to-date, but only 275,276 spent year-to-date, contributing to a variance of 190,156 in actual versus budget. And as a side note, the carts are in, they look pretty good.
They do.
Any questions for Commissioner Carlson?
More for Brad, and it ties in a little bit to the golf course, but I was looking at the golf course numbers, and I think I know the answer, but I do need some details from you, not on air. If you look at Fox Run 2023, go to the Fox Run page where you've got your data. In February of last year, our operating expense was $85,000. In February of this year, it was $205,000. And then in May of last year, it was $188,000 operating expense. This year, it was $281,000. So right there, we're a couple $100,000. But the one that really took off was in July of last year, under operating expense, we had $174,000. This year, close to $200,000 higher. So I get that we were gonna budget some capitals out of our operating fund, but can you kind of off-air align like what got put towards those accounts in February or in?
You're on page 16, just
I
want to make sure.
am on 16, yes.
Okay. So it's capitals. For the
Correct.
most part, there are some variances. One of the variances that shifts a lot from month to month are our 3 payroll months. You know, we have 26 pay periods, twice a year.
Correct, and
3
I
of those
thought that too.
So that actually makes a very large difference, especially at the golf course with our seasonal staff there in the summer. So that, I believe last year was in July, this year was in May. So that's a huge cost on it. And then, yeah, a lot of it is the capitals. We had the irrigation pump station, and I think we paid a bill in February, that was the deposit.
Well, yeah, so.
Correct, it's.
Without you guessing off your head, yeah, if you can make it factual on what you got charged to like February, to make February 150,000 higher and July 200,000 more, then at least I can explain it also.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Committee of the whole, oddly enough, we did not have committee of the holes in back-to-back this meeting and previous, so I did not have a report. Excuse me, athletic committee, Commissioner Carlson.
No report.
Golf course committee, Commissioner O'Malley.
Yes, the golf committee did meet on September 12th. Scotty and myself were there, Brad Scholes, Alex, Dennis, and Stacia. First discussion was on the actual golf capital projects, what was left over from the year 2024, and a small discussion on how we were gonna budget for 2025. On the 2025 5-year plan, it showed close to $1 million potentially on golf course pond stabilization, stream bank stabilization, and some pond dredging. Roundabout talk is that we didn't want to spend up to a couple $1 million, that we told challenge staff how to space this out over a 2 or 3 year period. So that was a part. We did talk about the golf cart fleet, which was being delivered now. Like I said, it's been delivered. The wastewater treatment system budget did not include a concrete pad for the system, so staff is resubmitting that for 2025. The driving range project, I'm assuming we're still waiting for permits, Mark?
Yes.
It's getting to the point where I think 1 or 2 commissioners want to revisit everything that we're gonna do. There's still a lot of, maybe not the, Bob Simon, the manager there, but there's quite a few employees that think that we could do something a little bit different. So I would like to still talk about that. Alex provided a summary of the 25 capitals. They're working with Christopher Burke on the details. Then we had a discussion on the event schedule. The music events usually pause during the summer. We do have music again, October, November, December, and January. The bands have already picked out. I think you have dueling pianos, you have Rob Post Band again. We still have challenged, Scott and myself have challenged staff to reach out to a music event planner, involve her in the process. Discussion on clubhouse operations. I inquired about the staffing levels, what's going to be necessary to get through the winter. They have added a couple of IMRF positions. We challenged them on why. And that was it. So it lasted about 50 minutes, and it was on September 12th. Am I missing anything, Scott?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question back to that street bank stabilization. I know that what I remember, it was a heavy dollar, and what you said you were gonna see if they would put it over 2 or 3 years. Did you get an answer from them, man? I'm
Yeah,
just
I
confused.
believe that was a part of talking to Christopher Burke, and that was the first time it got brought up by staff. But I will add, as part of the discussion, that I informed Alex, Brad, coming from Commissioner Cook, which I still think is a good idea, on reaching out to the village and potentially using their connections. First of all, it is where all the village's water ends up. And again, yes, it's a Park District land, it's our golf course, we built it there, but at the same time, they have lobbyists, they have connections. We might be able to catch a federal grant that they're aware of, that we're not aware of. We get these OSLAD grants for $400,000, they get grants for $2 and $3 million. So the presence and the skill and the expertise of their staff compared to us having nobody on staff that we usually go out to consultants to get bids, I think we should still continue to talk to the village, either you to the mayor or Ben to Mr. Rowe,
Matt Rowe.
So that's a part of the discussion that we want to involve John before we come up with a dollar amount to budget. We want to look at every other source before we turn to our own internal budget.
Yeah, and the only question I have is it's the golf course committee's feeling that you will be moving forward, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Maybe.
That's why I'm just asking, because sometimes the committee reports, there's a small disconnect, and I just want to make sure I know and Tom gets it, like, yeah, this needs to be done, obviously, but you're moving forward and you're just directing staff to go find a way to feather it over some years and get
And
some
the rest of this
professional help.
board to go find additional funding.
Doesn't need to be 2 million in 1 year.
Okay,
Correct.
that's all I'm asking. I just want to clear my, maybe I was the only one that didn't understand it.
And don't forget, it's still a golf course committee meeting. It still takes the direction of 5 to go ahead and bless the budget.
Right.
So,
Yeah, we're hoping to have answers on some of that stuff so it can be discussed when we discuss, even though most likely it's looking like a 2026 project at the earliest. We can discuss it when we discuss the 2025 capitals.
Okay, sounds good. Youth committee meeting, Commissioner Becky is not here. Who's the second chair on that? Is he the only? Yeah. Any report on youth committee?
No.
All right, adult center committee, Commissioner Cook.
No report?
And pavilion committee, Commissioner O'Malley.
I just spoke with Tiffany. Tom, we're gonna try one for Wednesday, 4 o'clock, 4:15 range, and we'll have a report for our October meeting.
Okay. Any old business that anybody wants to regurgitate? Okay, new business. Adoption of Resolution 24-05, a resolution approving, authorizing, and directing the execution and delivery of a master lease agreement and associated documents with Yamaha Motor Finance Corporation for 75 Yamatrack GPS units. To be clear, GPS units. I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Brad, do you have these yet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
Part of the card.
They're integrated
Yeah,
into the
I got
carts, so.
That's why I was questioning. I hadn't seen it. I'm like, oh, are we putting it on our own?
Yeah,
or-
they're built right into the dashboard
That's what I
in
was
the
told.
carts.
Okay.
So we have them. This is,
Get a flyover view.
we purchased the carts. This is just for the GPS
Gotcha.
units and the service that goes along with them.
Okay.
So I just had a couple questions. One I asked you to share as far as, okay, so we own the carts, but we're leasing the GPS, so.
Correct.
In year 5, when we go to trade the carts in, typically we have multiple bids for carts purchases with trade-in value. Will they take off the GPSs then, or how does that work if we don't decide to go with them to buy the new carts?
We have that option. It's not, they are integrated in, but you can remove them, yes.
Okay, and then, does the lease also cover, anything, the maintenance as far as, the malfunction?
No, the maintenance is on us.
So that's on us?
Correct.
Okay.
So the only comment I have on this is I want to thank the the users at Fox Run for having an extreme amount of patience, because they had a heck of a lot more patience than I would have with the company that we bought these from. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is almost 18 months later after the assigned agreement that they would have the carts delivered. Am I right?
I think 18 is to be
This
generous.
spring.
I think it was December of 2022
Yeah.
when we
Okay.
signed it. Right?
So, yeah.
But we weren't expecting them.
We were expecting them this spring,
This spring,
correct?
we were expecting.
But it just was so frustrating and irritating because, for the most part, the players at Fox Run weren't really aware of that problem. And it just, every cart seat was cracked. It just wasn't our standard whatsoever. And as far as I'm concerned, there's gotta be some qualifying things for us to go out for a request for pricing, and that one would be one of them for me, where I wouldn't entertain their price ever again. They cannot hold to the contract. The color that we ordered, all of a sudden now is an adder the next year.
Yeah, they strong-armed us.
Yeah, so I just let it be known that, in my opinion, when this comes down 5 years, if I'm still sitting here, you'll hear me say it. If I'm not, please, write them out of the RFP.
Staff's frustrations were there as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, they did hold the pricing, which should have been held, but.
If I'm
yes,
not
there were
mistaken, though, that
definitely
was after some negotiation on yours and Alex's part.
No, they said they were gonna hold the price.
Well, then how
from
did
the
the,
get-go.
so
They
the color
offered
came
us-
back where all of a sudden, now we had an adder
$100.
color, which was the color we
They
ordered.
discontinued,
Am I wrong
yeah,
there?
they discontinued the color that we selected.
Okay.
So we had the option of going with one of the now included colors versus the upgraded color. And I think that they kind of got away from, they used to have 4 common colors. I think it was like a green, red that we currently have, and then tan and white. And they kind of just went to the tan and white, which showed more wear and tear, more
Correct.
usage, et cetera. So we wanted a darker color
Yeah.
or a color they look very, very nice. We're
Don't
very
get me
happy
wrong,
with the
man.
product. I mean, it's well overdue in time, and I think the Patriots.
I'm
will-
super excited about the product. I just was not happy how the road that we got there, unfortunately.
And the GPS I took a training the other day on it, and it'll help us do some things. So I don't know if they have them fully set up yet, but there will be some changes because we'll be able to restrict where the users are going. So FYI, patrons out there, that is coming. But-
So nobody will be able to take one of our carts and drive it all the way to the driving range like has happened in the
Correct.
past.
It will shut down automatically.
All right.
That option will not be there.
Yeah, I'm
So
anxious
that'll
to
be
see it.
good.
I'm sure it's a great product.
And I'm not trying to scare them, we're not gonna limit it, but it'll be nice, it'll be like one of the features that it'll allow us to do, I think that'll actually benefit the customer more is those days where, Jeremy's worried about being cart path only. I think he'll be able to go, the problem areas when we have those heavier rains and it's wet in certain areas, we'll be able to go cart path only, maybe on just those holes, where other holes you'll be able to use the carts.
Yeah, the software system's
So it'll give
pretty
us a
cool.
lot more options, to do those things, so we're very excited about the
Yeah.
new,
I haven't seen them yet, but I can't
units.
wait. Francis, I'm sorry, do we have a motion in a second?
Yes, we do.
Okay, can I get a roll call?
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President Walls?
Yes. Okay, am I looking for a motion in a second on this?
No.
No? Okay, so we're gonna talk about the selection of proposal natural gas suppliers. Couple weeks ago, we had, Brad came in, and we're talking about a 3-year contract for our natural gas. We had a proposal. Unfortunately, with these proposals, they're good for like basically a day because it's a commodity. And I think the board was like, well, what the heck happened here? But now that I get the concept, Bill asked them to go back and see what happens again in a couple weeks. We can either get it lower or less of a contract, whatever. So anyway, that's kind of a discussion or an idea of how we got here. So Brad, if you want to explain what this proposal in white is
So those are the current.
and how
prices.
long it's good for.
Those are the current prices that we got today, basically they're good till tomorrow morning. The top ones are our larger contracts, those are our bigger facilities, and then the smaller ones are the, smaller accounts, I can't remember the technical term that we use, the choice accounts, I believe the smaller ones are.
So you have 2 highlighted here as Direct Energy and NG Resources. When you say that's Fox Run, Pavilion Aquatics, Admin Building, Hattendorf, that's your large guy.
Top transport ones, yeah,
Okay.
are Fox Run, Pavilion, Admin.
And the lower version you told me before the meeting would be like the warming house.
Warming shelter, the
yeah.
Autobahn,
Yeah.
Pirates Cove,
Okay.
you know.
And that's
all
the
those
difference
ones.
between the
Calf.
two pricings.
Yeah, the
Prices.
bottom one is correct.
Okay.
Very similar to like what the public has, you know, when you hit go off, you have the option that you don't have to buy gas from Nitecor, or you don't have to buy electricity from ComEd, you can find it a supplier. Nitecor still delivers our gas, ComEd still delivers our electricity, but we have the option to go to a different supplier.
Right.
So,
And what is your recommendation at this point?
so
So that the board knows where you're coming from and then we can discuss it.
So we have three options that are in front of you. Well, technically, we have four. So we have the 12-month, the 24-month, or the 36-month. This is a fixed cost. The other option would be to pay market rate and just pay as we go. So those are our options. I've been a big proponent of fixing the costs and getting in when the getting in is good. I think we've done that very good the last couple of years with our electricity and our gas contracts. I would recommend the 36-month contract on both of them. I mean, we're getting the choice counts is a little bit higher than what we're currently paying, but the transport, whereas roughly $90,000 is where we spent last year, you're gonna be under by about 2 cents.
Okay. Okay, so we'll need some discussion on this. We had 3 commissioners at the meeting last meeting, and that's kind of how we got to where we were today. But just so everybody knows, this is good in the morning, and unfortunately, and I was talking to Bill, we've said all along, we hate surprises, but it seems like this is just how this piece works. So.
Yeah, part of the issue, I talked to Brad a little bit about this as far as, the problem is voting on this now is that he had to do this, get this bid for today. And if we don't approve it, then he has to do it for the next meeting. I'd rather, if it's possible, give him some guidelines as if the market comes within this range, then go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? So he doesn't have to wait until our next meeting to get it approved. He can do it and shop a little bit, and then if he gets a rate that's, in my mind, would be at or below what we're currently doing, I'm in favor of going and do
This
3
is
years.
below what we're doing now.
Yeah, so that's the thing, this white sheet of paper and the green sheet, the green sheet was the price he had last meeting, white sheet it is. Although,
What Scotty's saying is, we're still lower if you.
Yeah.
Right now, we're lower than what we're
so
paying
the
now.
green sheet, Tom, is lower, right? We waited 2 weeks, it went up a little bit, but we're still, in my opinion, this is why I'll be voting for it. The white sheet of paper is allowing us to save the residents money.
I understand that.
And
but
this is a-
By voting on it.
We're not-
I guess
we're not-
that's-
we're not-
could you get a better rate if we gave you?
It's just a consensus.
So I guess
from
if
the board.
we were to
It's
say,
not a
hey,
vote.
do you think you can beat this in the next month and still be below what we're paying now? If you say yes, then why
You
commit?
can tell me that, I got some more questions.
No, I'm asking, well, I'm
I will
asking.
tell you what I said last meeting is, I believe these rates are good. There is a greater risk of them going up than an advantage of them going down.
Okay.
So the odds are they're gonna go higher than what they are now versus going.
Historically, natural gas is at its lowest in 20 years. Now, that sounds like a big woo, but it's close, right? But natural gas production is at its highest. Prices are at its lowest, and storage is gaining speed. Everybody's starting to store. And that's why I said last week, and I'll say it again this week, is I understand playing the game, and I agree, we should do all our best to get the best number. But the way I see it is, if I'm sitting here in September and I'm going out for natural gas prices, and I can save on a 3-year contract the taxpayers' money, I'm willing to do that for fear, right? Because it's a commodity and it swings for reasons, that we wait till February or March or even December, and there's a massive cold snap and the prices go through the roof. That's why I want to move forward with the white, and you can ask me any questions you want, but that's what I'm.
Well, I guess my reluctance is, we're just going with the luck of what it was today, because we have a meeting today. Whereas if we gave him discretion, then he could shop a little bit.
So what is
We're
that-
not, there's not another deadline to approve this.
So what is that discretion
we are on
gonna
our
look like
current rate through April.
Right.
So
right.
we are not.
I'm
in
not
a
saying
rush.
going for
Right.
months or whatever, I'm
Right.
just saying, it's like gas. Went from 3.50 one station, the next day it's 3.20. Okay, now, if we have to have a meeting on the day it's 3.20, I'm gonna stuck paying 3.20. If I said, hey, over the next 2 weeks, get the cheapest gas you can find, and you got a full tank, and now you can shop a little bit, you can get, okay, so I guess I would rather give Brad, I don't necessarily have a problem with this dollar amount, although I think I'd rather give him discretion to get, shop a little bit, and see if we can get it lower, I guess is my thought. And not have to be committed to the price at a particular board meeting.
If I'm not mistaken though, there's nothing you can do to see if you can get it lower, correct? It's if the market goes lower.
Wait,
It's not like we're going out like we've talked about requests for pricing. We're not going out to anybody other carriers. This is the players. So
Right, but
the
you
only
rebid.
discretion he's gonna have really is to hope that the market goes down.
And it didn't go
I'm not
down.
disagreeing with you, I'm just telling you.
Right, I understand that.
The only discretion we're giving him is to not take this, which would save taxpayers dollars, and play the game.
So it went up from the last meeting. This was the last meeting, so this is higher than that one.
And a couple suppliers actually went lower too, though, because I'm looking at Mansfield Energy gave a higher price 2 weeks ago than what they did here.
Yeah, but they're not winning, are they?
No, they're not.
Okay.
But, again, I've got a little bit of insight, this is my opinion, that yes, natural gas can be considered a commodity, but there are such wide swings. You're locking up a 3-year contract. It doesn't matter if there's a cold spell this week, this month, or a polar freeze. There's algorithms built into these contracts that's why they're making a 3-year commitment based on how much a therm's gonna be. It has nothing to do with what the weather's gonna be this winter. It's all set on computers coming up with the exact pricing. Can it go up, down? Absolutely. The fact that we have 6 more months to do this, I'm not in a rush either personally, because again, I have seen natural gas where they were paid to store it. Our own company has caverns in California that we were taking the stuff for free because the price was so low. So it does happen, that's all.
Yeah. Traditionally, natural gas prices have been very stable. Since COVID, they've been pretty volatile, both up and down. I would agree, we don't need to be in a rush. The attractive part is, we have the opportunity to lock in at a price that we've already been locked in at. So that's why I brought it to your guys' attention, we can lock this in and pay less than what we're currently paying. That's, how often do we get to do that on things? That's a good play, in my decision, or in my opinion.
So where are we right now? We're just going to direct him to move on the contract? It's not a vote, so to
I'm
speak.
looking for a consensus in which way he should go.
Okay.
And then
I'm
we'll
in favor
return
of
with
you,
a
I'm in
vote.
favor of you running with that, cool. And then just get everybody else's opinion and then we'll just figure it out from there.
Start you, right?
Okay,
So, can I just ask one more question on this sheet here? On the green versus the white, and you have at the bottom, the estimated annual savings, and the white sheet shows it, is that a
I
negative?
think that's supposed to be a negative, yes. On the right here,
Yeah,
no, the one price came in,
well, like,
did low, yes, that's a savings,
so the 180 is the savings?
correct.
And
Because
now,
we're- right
the
now we're seeing-
330 is not a savings, it's paying more?
Correct, those ones came in higher. That one went
So-
down. I don't know if they misbid
So we're not
it, they
paying,
were
well,
really,
these 3 years showing they're all above, so we're more than we're paying.
yes, 2 weeks ago,
Well, you
we would have been paying more on our smaller accounts. Again, that's 20,000 therms over the year, you're talking $8,000 maybe for all of those accounts that we have. The ones on top are the ones that we're really gonna be making savings. You're talking, like I said, 215,000 therms is our annual estimate. So
90
you're
grand.
talking just
80
under,
grand.
yeah, $88,000, $89,000.
Scotty, your
well,
opinion?
I would be inclined to go with I mean, we already gave up for 2,000 something on the bigger one, so, yeah, I'm inclined on this.
Bill?
I'm content to let it go again. We didn't give up anything. No money came out of the park district. No money.
No, I'm not
left,
saying that way, it's just,
Well, I'm saying it that way, that we didn't lose any money at all. It could be cheaper 2 months from now, it could be cheaper 6 months from now.
Well,
It could be
way
cheaper 2
more.
years from now. Yeah, of course it can. So that's why there's no rush. We have 6 months to play this out. So I'm fine.
Tom?
Can you lock in the one that you're comfortable with, the higher one? That's because you just said one actually came back lower, so the one that we use the least.
Yeah, the lower ones, yeah.
You know,
We can
that's
do
a
whatever.
compromise.
Like I said,
Well, I'd
we
be
have a lot
okay with
of,
that.
we have as many options as we want. We can lock in a 12-month, we can lock in a 24-month, we can lock in 3 years, or we could, like I said, go by market.
You just gave.
Options are galore.
You just gave
I
5
just
people.
need some
hold on.
direction.
You just gave 5 people that have different opinions, right? You went from trying to get a direction now, and you've taken it, if my algebra is correct, to 35 different options, just in that last sentence.
Yeah.
And
That's what you're-
and you
that's what
think
we
we're
have.
gonna get a direction tonight?
That's what we have.
I know what you're saying, and I know what Bill's saying, like, hey, let's cherry pick, which is nice that you can, but
well, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, to be
You
honest
lock
with
up
you,
your bigger
the top is
accounts,
what we
that's
need
what
to
you're
worry. The
worried
top is
about.
what we need to worry about. The
Right,
lower ones,
right.
we're talking
Agreed.
$100 over the
Yeah,
course
so
of the
you know what I'm
year.
saying, Brad, your
The
ones
top
that
ones are the
you're
ones that
worried
are gonna
about.
save money, yes,
You can lock that up, because that's your biggest usage.
correct.
And it'll still be cheaper than what we're paying today.
Correct.
But, like I said, my own gut instinct is.
So it's time to
goes
tell.
all over.
Well, no, well, it's a little different than it was before. I mean, I'm okay with locking the top one and playing around with the bottom.
Okay, what's your annual budget for the bottom, what did you call them?
They're like the select or choice accounts.
Choice accounts. What's your annual budget for natural gas per year on those choice accounts, if you know?
Roughly $8,000, $9,000.
Okay.
Total.
So if we play the game with the $8,000, $9,000, we're gonna net or lose
It's right there, you're talking
$40.
$500 to $500 plus or minus.
So if that's what everybody's leaning for, I am full in favor of taking a 3-year on the top portion, because that's where all our money is.
Yes.
And if you guys wanna play this natural gas market with an $8,000 account, I'm not in favor of it, but have at it.
I was just giving my opinion until it made it to Commissioner Cook, that's all.
So where are we at?
Well, I still, like I said.
I know what you're saying. It's
Having a
nice to
problem
give him
locking out
direction.
one day, rather than just give him, of course, if we give you direction, then this is the best price, you're just gonna take this price, so I guess. I just really don't like the fact that we're locking in on a particular day that, and then it could be other days that might be
Well, it'd be no
different, might
different
be
than
lower.
doing it tomorrow or the next day.
Well,
or
we
the
don't
next
know that,
day.
no, because then you'd have discretion, you could go back and get it bid, have whoever is using it bid it out.
I know, but
3
it's
days
still
a
gonna
week,
have
let's
to-
say 3 times next week, and see what they come back, if it comes in lower.
Well, no, you're still gonna have to do it that day, because tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
you
but
have
if
to-
it
doesn't
comes
need to
in
get our
lower,
approval.
yeah, but if we set a range and say, hey, if it comes in under this, go for it,
Okay, but then tomorrow it could be higher than this.
then don't go for it, then wait till
Well,
5
then-
months.
And then it could keep going up every day, then at what
That
we
point?
need to
would-
come to
that
some
would-
sort
then we
of-
lost the game, you're right.
We need to come to some sort of agreement or agree to disagree.
Okay, we paid our finance guy a lot of money to make this thing, so I'm gonna vote yes and give you direction, unless you truly think you can.
There's no unless.
Some benefit.
Tom, every word prior to the word unless now means nothing.
Well, I know, but I'm telling you, because I'm on the record, because I'm still.
I understand your.
I understood you when I asked you, you think this is the best rate, there'd be no benefit to waiting, or more risk than reward.
There's
waiting.
more risk than reward,
Okay,
yes.
so
My
I'm gonna go
opinion.
with our finance guy, we pay a lot of money to, and I'll say yes, but.
So after all of that, is everybody clear? You're
Yes.
good, Brad?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
But are we doing both of them? or
Clear as
is it a-
mud.
we're gonna let them play with the bottom one.
I don't think it's worth playing, but
They say
you're
$500
gonna,
he said.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
I've got
And risking
so
we don't need
lost
more.
here.
We're in the back.
Payment of bills.
Let me find it. Got it, sorry. Okay, payment of the bills, August 2024 P cards in the amount of $186,752.65. September 13, 2024 in the amount of $443,015.66. And September 20, 2024 in the amount of $784,674.09. I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Wells?
Yes. I need a motion in a second to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes, Francis.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Wells?
Yes, our next scheduled meeting is October 24th at 7 PM.